Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you are watching. I am PlainGuy, and this is the PlainGuy Show. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Our community continues to grow, and without you guys, none of this would be possible. We've got a special guest for episode 10 of the PlainGuy Show. We are joined by Mr. Vaughn from Streams with Vaughn over on Facebook. He is an aspiring musician, an amazing content creator, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. So, without further ado, I give you Mr. Vaughn. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we are joined by future Facebook partner, aspiring musician, and good friend of the show, Vaughn from Stream with Vaughn. Vaughn, how are you doing, my man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm like super excited about this. We've been talking about this for a while, and this is a privilege, I'm excited.
Well, I'm the one that is privileged to have you here, my man. I really appreciate you joining us on the PlainGuy Show, checking it out. Everybody likes to see their streamer and their favorite streamer in a different light, and that's what we're kind of hoping we can bring to it today. Kind of get to know you a little better, and go from there.
Exciting.
So, Vaughn, we have one question that we ask all of our guests, and I forgot to mention to you in before we get started. It is one of the most important questions you can answer today.
Okay.
Cat person or dog person, and why do you hate cats?
Okay, well, I don't hate cats. Let's get that out of the way. And no, I'm just kidding. But I don't hate cats. I really don't. But I am definitely more of a dog person, for sure. And that goes like way back to my childhood. Like one of my first experiences with dogs was like my grandma had two dogs. One was Carly, and another was Ragamuffin. And I remember Ragamuffin was like, we called her Rag or whatever, but she was a rescue. Okay. And I remember whenever I first met her, because I went to go stay with my grandma for a little bit, and like I actually had to like get her to learn that I'm not gonna hurt her or anything like that, because she went through a lot.
Yeah.
And so it took me like 6 months of me like going up to her and like trying to coax her with like treats and stuff, and like making my way in there, because like at first she was like just really standoffish.
Yeah.
But that whole experience, man, like I don't know. It got to a point where she was just like so overprotective of me that even like my mom could not wake me up for school. Like, and that was just the culmination of just like so much, me just like trying to be this dog's friend.
Yeah.
But as far as me hating cats, though, we actually have a cat in the house. Her name is Elaine. She's a sweet baby angel. And they're a little standoffish, and they can be. Wait, can we curse here?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They can definitely be dicks, but she's a sweetheart. And it's kind of the same thing with them. They're kind of standoffish, but once you kind of weasel your way into their heart, they're like, okay, maybe I won't kill you, but can you still pick up my shit sometimes, and I'm not going to thank you for it.
It's true. Oh my God, it's true. You never quite know what they're going to do. I have, it's great to ask this question at the beginning of every show, because I have both. I have a German Shepherd I don't know what she's doing upstairs. She's quiet, so I'm scared. And then I have two cats, and I have the polar opposite of cats. I have one cat who, I've said it before on the show, the only way I know she still lives here is because I keep finding clumps of her fur. You don't see her. She doesn't, there's two things that she loves. Yeah, chips. You take a bag of chips, that cat will come out, hop up, sit on your lap, and paw at the bag of chips. It's the only time you'll see her.
What is that? The bags and chips in boxes. I don't know what it is, but
the box thing is great.
Yeah. Dude, it's hilarious. Like Elaine, she's like all about like boxes and stuff like that. And especially like whenever we go do our shopping, she's just like rolling around in like Dollar General bags, and I'm like, you do that. Good on you, Elaine.
Mine does that with shopping bags, like the plastic bags, where if you normally will unpack some stuff, throw them, and then put them all in a group. And while there's one loose on the floor, he's like full pin into it, sliding across the floor. Right? He's more of a dog. He's the cat that's a dog.
The best part about it is like hearing it at like 4 a.m. just like downstairs. You're just just hearing this bag being shuffled around. You're like, okay. You gotta do.
We have this one toy that we have to take away from my cat. It's this ball. He's had it for years.
Yeah.
And at night, all of a sudden you'll be laying in bed and all you hear in the house is, wow.
Oh my God.
And he carries it through the house and just makes this noise for every time, right as we get into bed. And then he'll just sit in the bedroom and we have to actually get up, take it, put it in a drawer and put it away for the night, or he just won't stop the entire
Oh my
night.
God. You're like, that's enough of that. Good
Yeah,
night.
and we have to hide it. And a couple times we hid it somewhere he could get that we didn't know he's seen us. And an hour later, he's waking us up with the ball. He went and found it, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. 3 alarm clocks, man.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking future Facebook partner. You stream over on Facebook. You've been doing it for about 7 months now, give or take, right? You do a bunch of horror games, not all horror games, but a lot of horror games. I've watched some of your clips. I've damn near shit myself watching your clips, and how you didn't while live on stream is impressive, I gotta say.
I appreciate it.
Your community is also savage with their scare alerts, which I think is great.
For sure. We just added a free one on there, which, a lot of people like pay for stars, and then with those stars, it's, they'll send like a scare alert attached to them or whatever. But like, we started doing the free scare alert like 2 weeks ago, and it's been absolutely awesome. And I love like giving everybody that, and also it entices people, because that's like one of the first things they see in the description is like, if you hit exclamation for the content, free scare alert. And some people will like literally just come in that I've never even met or talked to or saw. They're just like, let me just scare the shit out of this guy like immediately and not even follow them. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, man, we've been doing that for like 7 years, not 7 years, but 7 months now. And it's been an amazing journey. I've been like in the Facebook community now for almost 2 years. And I started all of this because of my friend Wesley, who actually you might know him as like Senpai Streams on Facebook.
I don't know, but I'm going to get to know if you'd like to come on the show.
You know what? Hey, Wesley, come on, man. But he's a Facebook partner.
Oh, nice.
And he just got that probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And but he's also like one of my real life like best friends. And
nice.
So I kind of started off getting to know the community and wanting to be a part of it just by, supporting him. He grew like an amazing community of people. And for that like first year, it took me a while, but like I started going on stream with him a lot. He does like a lot of like Among Us and social games. So like I remember the first time I ever like played on stream, dude. I was like so nervous. Like I was like literally telling myself like, dude, it's just a stream, it's just a game, dude. It's just Among Us. Calm down. But I started doing it so much to the point that I got comfortable with it. I'm like, you know what, maybe I can do this. And then he actually had me fill in for like this kind of like big streamer collaboration. Up until one of the other streamers can come in.
Nice.
And after I did that, I was like, dude, I totally want to do this because we made some awesome content out of it. It was like hilarious. But yeah, and then as far as the partnership, we just got our invite on our last stream that we did, which is super exciting. I mean, like we were saying, it's going to take a long time, and Facebook wants to make sure that you have like that engaged community of people before they give you that title. But that's just something that it's just like another thing, that exists out there that, I kind of want to work towards. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I think one of the important things, and I've noticed from a lot of your streams, is not only is while you're streaming, you're making content, but you actually take that content and do something with it, something extra, right? Not recycle it in the sense it's a terrible term to use, but just, you know what I mean? You've made that great content. It was a small part of a big stream. Let's kind of, let's make some clips out of that. Let's make a highlight reel. I seen your highlight reel. I think we actually had some of them that are playing as the intro to this show, right? You want that, you really take that and get the full potential out of the content you create. And I think that's awesome. For
sure. And I think like, if I were to want to go for like a partnership and stuff like that, I mean, like their main thing is like, they want to have 3,000 engaged viewers before you can even, apply for a partnership. And that's about like maintaining the community. And then also just like, how great of a content creator are you? And, how, so it's like, I take a lot from my friend Wesley because he's such a great content creator. And he does do a lot of YouTubing. And for me, I just feel like it's a waste to, sit there and stream for 4 hours and have like these amazing moments that are either hilarious with you and your friends or just like the jump scares, which seem to do really well like on TikTok and stuff. And like TikTok was, aside from Facebook, is probably like the other best thing that gets me like new followers. And also it's just like, I was just like, real, you never know what you're going to get. Because if you make like a funny like 1 minute video of you getting the shit scared out of you, especially with like newer games, the algorithm will just take off with it. So like my first two posts on TikTok were like one of my biggest.
Jesus.
And like I think it was like 700 likes or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm just like, dude, I don't even get that on like Facebook. So it's
like I'm in the wrong application right now.
Right. So, after I got like the invite, I'm like, how can I really pursue this partnership and actually like give myself a fair shot at this? Because if I were to just do streams, I really don't see myself making it as easily, or it would take a very long time. And I'm just like, we do have a lot of good content there, and there's things that I've been wanting to go back and just compile, because it's like, it's there, like it's already there. I just got to make stuff out of it. That's why we were talking about doing like premieres and stuff. And that's stuff, doing those that counts as like returning viewerships. So if you delegate those for like certain days, and especially if there's a day that you don't feel like streaming, you can still get some sort of engagement and insights,
and help with your numbers and everything else. And wow, it sounds like you've got and with the help from your friend Wesley, you figured out a lot of this stuff too, right? Because I knew nothing, like I had no idea about that kind of stuff with the returning viewer numbers and everything, because I pretty much hopped in front of a computer and said, hey, look, I'm gonna play games. You've been, obviously you've put in your own hard work, but at the same time having that friend or person close to you to rely on with the insight into it, that's huge, man. That is awesome for you. That kind of leads into the work that we have to put in, right? Like you talk about all this content creation and everyone goes, okay, here's a 2-minute tick. I don't know how long I'm not on TikTok.
They're like a minute now.
A minute. Okay, here's a minute TikTok video. Everyone goes, cool, that was a good minute. I'm off. Next one. They don't realize that TikTok video took the time to put the create the content, whether it be on stream or otherwise, edit it, put it all together, package it, put it on, and then you're just like, yeah, cool, like on to the next one, on to the next one. The work that people don't see, again, even you guys sitting at home watching this right now, see everything put together. You don't see the time that guys like Vaughn put in all behind the scenes, to put 2 hours of content is 4 hours of work.
Yeah, because right? I mean, a lot of the times you're going back and rewatching like your entire stream, to find clips. And it's just like I figured out, like with Raft, like I did that premiere on Raft. It was like my first premiere on Facebook. It was a couple weeks ago, and but like the whole stream itself was like 4 hours. But after like getting like halfway through it, I'm like, okay, there has to be a better way to do this. Obviously, like I always like try to tell a lot of my friends that are watching to help to clip, because it helps so much. For whatever they might find funny and stuff, but like obviously there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get clipped. So I was like halfway through it, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna life hack this. I'm just gonna look for the parts of me like smiling or laughing, because I know enough of myself to know that if I'm like laughing or something, something is hilarious. So I essentially made that entire like video just by going off of watching myself like laugh, and
that's genius. That's genius.
So, but yeah, there is a lot of things. I've always kind of been into like media in one way or the other, with my Instagram, like for my music. Like I've been putting out little clips of me like playing guitar or music production stuff for like over like a decade, it feels like at this point. And but I never knew how to like channel that appropriately. Now I feel like I kind of have that vehicle, but there's a like I feel I'm taking all these little things that I knew, because there's like graphic design that you have to I feel like if you're going to do this, and learning how to do like video edits, and then Photoshop to some degree, which there's so many great tutorials out there which make it a little bit easier. And you can also go out and just like buy like Adobe like
Premiere
little
or whatever it is, and
and then also they have like little packages that you can get that other users make for you that you can purchase, and make it a little bit easier for yourself. But it takes up a lot of my time, and not even just the physical aspect, a lot of the mental, because I spend a lot of time just thinking about how I am going to grow the community and how I'm going to keep my friends engaged, and like and that can be a double-edged sword in a sense, because if there's like one thing that I learned, balance is very much needed in doing this, because you can easily like lose yourself into like what's going on,
Yep.
with either the community or, and
Oh, just your worries, everything. I think that's important, that every person out there that is doing any sort of streaming should be aware of. It is very important. Everything in moderation, for too much is an addiction. I can't remember. My dad's got a line like that. And it's important. You will bury yourself and when you first do it, you know it, because you get in, this is hot, this is fresh, I got ideas.
Yeah.
And then you're laying in bed at night and you're just
constantly,
gears are turning. Oh, what if I did that with the overlay and I changed that around? And welcome to anxiety, right?
Yeah.
That is, you know what I mean? The beginning of anxiety is when you are laying in bed and that's all you can think about is the changes you want to make.
You're right, because it kind of translates into like insecurity at times, because you're like so critical of what you want to do.
Yep.
And then it makes you, you can really like fall off in the deep end in your head and be like, well, shoot, is this actually good? Do people, whatever.
Yep.
But like even a couple months ago, I had to take like a really, like I was streaming maybe like once or twice a week, very short streams as well. Like I usually like to have like 4-hour blocks and stuff, but I kind of had to stop and like give myself a lot more mental time, and really start doing things that reminded me of who I was, because I stopped playing guitar as much. I stopped going out and doing like hikes and nature and stuff, which are things that remind me of who I am. So it's like, I had to take some time off. I was doing that, stuff like that every day, and I came back a little bit more rejuvenated. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's important to do that. I can definitely relate to that. I've been down that rabbit hole, so to speak, right? And
yeah,
it's true. You realize that all your time that you have, your free time that you have to do the things that you would normally enjoy, you're busy working on this thing that you're supposed to be doing for fun.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
That was my thing. People were telling me, and you do some research and you go, you got to hit the games that are hot. And I went,
yeah,
fuck Facebook. I'm going to play what I want to play.
Exactly.
Because if I'm not having fun, my viewers are going to know that. Your viewers can always read that.
I'm so glad you said that, because that is exactly how I feel. And like, with
you're still on Facebook, so you could don't say it, but I'll say it.
Don't take away my invite. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. But there are things that I feel like need to be criticized, just because like this is a relatively new platform, and if they are going to compete against other platforms, I feel like to be able to vocalize those things and not be afraid to do so, because a lot of streamers are. It's it's just one of those things, so like I've learned, like especially with Facebook, horror games is not really
their niche,
very popular,
and
it's not really easy to find horror games there, because I mean they kind of do it like more by like game popularity,
right?
So it's not as easy to like they don't have like genres as much as like Twitch or something else.
Really though, because like everyone was playing Phasmo at one point, and Phasmo, I believe, was
like
one of their big pushes.
That was the main horror game, and I think it still is.
Like, I think Ghost Core or 4 or whatever it's called is going to give it. I think you're gonna. It wasn't even in the library yet, but Facebook has to pay attention to that and has to add it.
I was very much excited about Ghost Hunters Corp because I could use the Phasmophobia tag when it first came out, because whenever we upload games, guys, for for people that don't know, we have to have like a video tag. And a lot of the times a game that we want to play, which in my case, I play a lot of indie horror games, do not have a tag.
Right.
And what that means, like, if you don't have a tag for that game, you can't get any reach for it. People can't search it up. And it gets like kind of frustrating. So what a lot of people do is they'll take like a similar game and, say like, they're playing Phasmophobia. But I was really excited that I could use that, because Phasmophobia for me was like one of the games that gave me my highest like viewership and insight and reach and all that stuff. But also, I kind of got bored of it, so I didn't want to. I still love the game, but I try to keep it, a little bit different. But I was excited that I could use that tag.
I hadn't watched much Phasmo or anything in a while, right? Again, I took a little break. I was watching streamers every night, trying to find people for the show, and I tuned in, and it might have been your stream. It was either your stream or another streamer that we both know, and I seen it, and I go, man, did Phasmo get an update?
Oh yeah, I
I think
did
it
see you
was
when
your
we played it.
stream. And
Yeah,
I was
I think
like,
that was
it's
like either the
Phasmo?
first time
Yeah.
we played it because we only played Ghost Hunter's Corpse I think like once.
Yeah.
But I remember that. I think that's the day I met you or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like, man, did it get an update? Like,
Oh
it because
yeah,
I seen the EMF reader and everything. I'm like, man, this is Phasmo just on crack. Like,
dude, they have
it's
so many like new Phasmo types of games that are coming
yeah,
out, and I'm super excited. Like, there's one that I just tested out that's on alpha. Like, it's not even like really playable yet, but
yeah.
it looks very promising. And then there's another one that we just streamed called Haunt Chaser, which I'm
Okay,
like super excited about, and it's in early access right now.
nice,
But you have like the EMF, you have like all these like ghost hunting tools and stuff.
right.
But the difference between this and Phasmo is like it's kind of breaks into like a Dead by Daylight element because
Right.
it's for ghost hunters versus this entity or ghost
Mhm.
where you can actually play as the ghost and you can also combat the ghost with like either like
Oh.
spells and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that one.
And
Haunt Chaser,
what's it, a haunt chaser?
yeah,
Okay.
it's super cool. You got to look into it, man. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it. I really want to see where
I
it goes.
hate scary games. I'm a wuss.
Dude, that last jump scare video that I did, I actually did of Ghost Hunter's Corpse, or not
Yeah.
Ghost Hunter's Corpse, but Haunt Chaser.
Yeah.
And the very first jump scare on it, like it made me feel like I have to put like a warning on these things because like one of my moderators, she was just like, "Oh my god, I almost had a heart attack." I'm like, "Oh shit, I need to put like a warning on here because I'm not trying to get sued." But it's scary, you know. And with that game, they actually have like preloaded jump scares all over. So at times it makes it feel like you're playing like a walkthrough,
Yeah.
walking simulator, psychological horror.
Yeah.
But also, there's the jump scare of you being like chased, and whenever you get caught, dude, it just scares the living crap out of you.
Yeah,
So.
I think I'm gonna see that one where the face like pops into your face and drags you out of the house and stuff
Oh,
after. I think,
oh yeah. Oh, that one might have been Devour, but
Oh,
that
that
one
was
was
Devour.
very good too.
man, yeah, I have never heard of half these games until watching your streams and watching your clips. I have one scary game, and my wife streamed it because I was too much of a wuss to play it, and even I was sitting off to the side because I had the soundboard.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even look at the screen. And then I think I joined on to help her because she's not very good at games. And it's called I'm Scared.
I'm Scared.
It is on Steam. Type that in. It was like, it's all capital letters. I'm space scared.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
It is a psychological horror. It's like an old school, like 16-bit, 32-bit scary game.
Okay, I've seen this before.
Dude, I've got goosebumps.
Oh my
I just
god,
got goosebumps talking about it.
If
I'm
you're
not
feeling like
scare
that, dude, I have to write it out. I don't know what it is. I'm absolutely obsessed, and
it's it's psychological. I won't give you any spoilers if you're gonna play it, but I mean, it does some weird stuff.
Okay.
And you go like, man, it's creepy.
Like,
it's creepy. Yeah, exactly. So no, that's the one thing a lot of the reviews will be, don't read reviews on it first kind of thing, or playthroughs, because it just takes away that spoiler. There's some good psychological in it. All right, before we get too far into this, we are going to get into PlainGuy trivia. I do want to talk about your music. I do want to talk about all that stuff, but we need to get our PlainGuy trivia in. So PlainGuy Trivia is sponsored by Project PCs. Project PCs is your one-stop destination for all your PC needs. Everything from pre-built to one-of-a-kind custom builds, Project PCs has what you need. Visit projectpcs.ca, your project, their passion. So we are going to get started off talking about music like we did earlier. I took that into account.
Okay.
I kind of try and gear the questions toward my guests.
Yeah. Okay.
So, as everyone knows from the last episode, from this episode, Project PCs has been kind enough to donate, or gift, we'll call it, $20 gift card to any of our guests who can go 5 for 5 on the trivia. We don't do participation awards here. It is 5 for 5. Right now, our leaderboard currently sits, I'll tell you what you're up against. The highest score is 3.5 out of 5. We're going to call it a 3 for the sake of the leaderboard, but it's a 3.5. It was a 2-state question. She got one of them.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Our other 2 guests were at 1 for 5. So we've set the bar fairly low. And I'm hoping, Vaughn, I want to give you some money. Then you can go buy I'm Scared on Steam with the money we give you.
That would be absolutely cool.
All right. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 1. Which name is rapper Sean Combs better known by?
P. Diddy.
That is correct. I seen you for a second.
I was like,
That is correct. P. Diddy. All right. Question number 2. We're 1 for 1. The statue of, how's your history? How are you at history?
it used to be my best subject.
All right, perfect.
It used to be.
Question number 2. The Statue of Liberty was given to the U.S. by which country?
France.
That is correct. 2 for 2. How are you in sports?
Not good.
What's your favorite sport? If you had to pick one.
Okay, so I don't have like a team or anything, but I totally get a kick out of watching football. And it may or may not have anything to do with beer and food at like Super Bowl events.
Have you gone to tailgate? Have you gone to a game just for the tailgate?
I've not. I've not.
We used to go every year to a Buffalo Bills game. I'm giving it, where I'm at. I'm in Canada, so we got to cross the border to go to a football game. I've never seen anything. You don't even have to go to the game. You can go for the tailgating, and Buffalo fans are insane. Okay. But the food, the atmosphere, what I mean? I hate to see what COVID would have done to that, but I hope it's still alive and well in Buffalo.
Yeah.
How are you at cycling?
Cycling? Like bikes?
Because that's where our question goes.
I used to actually be very much into road biking back in the day. I didn't really get into like professional aspect of it, but we'll see.
Okay. So question number 3, what color jersey is worn by the winner of each stage of the Tour de France?
What color jersey? Is it yellow?
Yes, it is. 3 for 3.
Oh my God, bro. I cannot believe that. But you know what? How I thought about that? I was just like, who's that famous cycler? I always see him in yellow. Yeah, I'm like, I seen him in yellow a lot.
Meanwhile, his sponsor was like Banana Republic, or I don't know. Yeah. All right, so we're 3 for 3, my man. They get tougher though. They get tougher. Question number 4. What is the most common letter in the English alphabet?
Common letter.
Yes. What is the most common letter in the English alphabet?
I
feel like a genius because I have all the answers already written down.
I feel like it would have to be like a vowel, right?
Okay. Well, I see where you're going with it.
I really want to say, I really want to say E.
That is correct. 4 for 4. Fun is 4 for 4. Oh my God.
I just started thinking of a bunch of sentences, and I'm like, which one do I keep on seeing the most? And it was E. So
yeah, I was trying not to give it away when he said vowel. I'm like, you're on the right path. And
yeah,
it's funny because I get the advantage of I see them and I go, oh, that answer makes sense. But if I was ever put on the spot, I don't think I could come up with that answer. Right? It's one of those ones you go, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So for the chance, add a gift card sponsored by our PlainGuy trivia sponsor, ProjectPCs.ca. How many eyes does a bee have?
Okay.
For the prize, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a really hard one because I know I feel like they have like multiple thing crap. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, whenever you watch any sort of cartoon, they see multiple angles. I didn't know the answer to this one. But it's kind of it's a crapshoot.
All I know is that it has to be an even number. So I'm just gonna say 24.
Incorrect. The answer I have, and you can thank randomtrivia.com for this, whether it's correct or incorrect, is 5. Which
5.
I don't know how they fit.
How 5? That's so interesting.
For the sake of integrity, I'm confirming.
That is so interesting. I was like specifically like it has to be even, right? And then it was just like, nope.
I am looking up a photo. Oh, it actually kind of makes sense. So they got the 2, and then they have like 3 little ones in the middle.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's super interesting.
Yeah,
well, at least we learned some stuff.
We learned something today. We were so close, Fonz. So close.
I know. I'm just excited I got it just 1 right. Okay, but I was not expecting to go 4 out of 5.
You went 4 for 5. You are the top of our leaderboard, my man. That was impressive. That was impressive.
I'm thoroughly shocked. Like when you told me we were gonna do short trivia, I'm like, dude, I am so bad at trivia.
That's what everybody says. I'm so bad at trivia. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't. Well, there's people that are good at trivia. Like my wife, Friends TV show. You know the famous show Friends. The trivia on that. I mean, you can ask her in what episode did Phoebe make a tuna casserole? I don't know. I don't feel like Phoebe made it. So cool. And she'd be like, it's season 3, episode 4. And they did it in this kitchen. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like that is knowledge you should not know.
I get it though, man. People who watch Friends, that's like a Bible to them. Like
that was a generational show, right? Like everybody watched it. So getting back to, your music. Your music you said how long have you been doing the music for? Most musicians, you have to be doing it for quite a while. It's not something like streaming you can kind of pick up in 7 months and be like, look, I'm really successful.
Okay, so I kind of started playing around with the program that I use, which is called FL Studio or Fruity Loops Studio.
Okay.
And I've been using that since, I had to be like 11 or 12 when it was first introduced to me, and I'm 28 now, just to give you guys some reference.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and then whenever I was horrible, up until I was like, in my early 20s, because I really didn't take it that seriously, but it was like still an outlet for me.
Right.
But whenever I turned like 15, I started picking up guitar.
Right.
And then, I still do that pretty consistently, even though I changed kind of my style, because when I first started, I was like heavy metal, like death metal, black metal, all sorts of stuff for like the first 7 or 8 years. And then I kind of got acoustic. And I started doing a lot more of like finger style guitar, and have like shifted from like this very aggressive and fast type of music to like, something that was a little bit, more melodic and like hopeful and depressing at the same time, which I'll show you my Instagram, which is like Pathless Creative on Instagram. But I'll send you all the links for that stuff.
Absolutely. We'll put it in the description of the video. If you guys want to check out any of it, it'll all be there.
Awesome. And then, but yeah, like, so I did that, and I've been writing like kind of like I've been working on like an EP for like ever, but like one of my main things now, and also one of the things that really contributed to my growth and with streaming, is I started producing music for streamers.
Nice.
And I did one for my friend Wesley, and I remember the reaction that kind of got, because he was hyped about it, everybody else was hyped about it, and I made it like really personalized. So I was like making like, I say like I used like his name in the song, and
like the voice, make it like a personal intro.
For sure. But it also is just like hits like really hard, and so lots of bass and all that stuff. And then ever since that, I'm like, dude, I could totally like do something, in this respect, because I've always been making music, but I never really knew how to like
market it,
make something out of it, and and also like my head was always in a billion places at once, because I'm like, do I want to do like indie acoustic stuff, or do I want to do trap and rap electronic music, which is kind of my main focus now. But because I find that the easiest to market. So after I did that for him, I had other streamers like reaching out to me, so it was like the first time I was ever actually like making money off of it.
Nice.
But also people were starting to know me through the Facebook community, just because of that. So that actually, that helped me out a lot. And I attribute a lot of, my success. I'm not like a big, gigantic streamer or anything, but,
no, but you're doing well, man. As a guy who's, done it for 3, 4, 5 months, I don't know what I'm at. Again, you do much more streaming than I do. I never want to compare us, but I mean, almost 1,200 views or 1,200 followers. That is no small task. I encourage anyone that thinks that 1,200 viewers or followers is easy, that's watching this. If you're not a streamer, go hop on and try it and see how long it takes you to get 1,200 followers. It sounds so simple, right? Like, people come in, they check it out, they like it, they click it, and I got a follower. No, they come.
It's definitely difficult. Like there are days where you don't get any followers, and then that's where also going back to kind of like working within the Facebook means is like you always kind of feel like you have to kind of like work towards if you're trying to gain followers, of course I want to do games like certain games that like Phasmo that are like algorithmic like friendly, as opposed to like the indie horror games, because I know I'm not going to get any reach with those. So it's like it's that balancing act. But
Absolutely. You got to
Yeah,
play their game to be successful, but at the same time, you can't play their game too far that you lose yourself in their analytics and their
for
idea of what a
sure.
streamer should be, right?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's important to remember. I think that's really important to remember. And a lot of people, yeah, some of these guys that have gotten super famous, and props to them. You don't get there by not putting in work. They've definitely put in work in their own way. And some of them will just conform and go, okay, they figured out the system on Facebook. They can play anything and they just go. Right.
Yeah,
I've seen one streamer that's out there. The guy is probably one of the most arrogant people I've ever watched on stream. And it's
hmm
not a character. There's characters out there.
yeah, for
This guy's
sure.
just, it's his personality. He just doesn't care. Right. And he's super successful. And
Yeah,
it's like, you know what I mean? Why? Because he knows the system and he
yeah,
knows how to get the numbers out of what he wants to do. And
for
and he
sure.
plays it. And it's, good for you at the same time. That's not my style, but man, you got to put in
Yeah,
work to get there.
yeah,
So if you can
absolutely.
put in the work and be genuine like yourself, that to me is even more impressive.
Oh, well, thank you for that compliment.
That is even more impressive. So outside of the streaming thing, obviously the streaming, the music, the content creation, all that kind of stuff, we're going to incorporate that all into the streaming or your social media. Outside of that, what is it that you do? What are your hobbies? What are your passions?
Okay, so you already know my passion is music.
Right.
But aside from that,
We
you
talked
know,
hiking.
yeah, we did. So that's like really like I'm a very like simple dude. I really value like relationships and like meeting like people and stuff like that. So pre-COVID times anyways, it was a
Of
lot easier
course.
to go out and check out a brewery or two and like, I'm very it's weird because like growing up I've always been like very. Oh, is that a brewery
Yeah,
shirt?
that's a brewery
Let's
shirt. That's a
go.
blurry
Shout out to
hat. Oh
Old
yeah.
Flame Brewing.
Old Flame Brewing. Yeah, I know. They don't sponsor the show, but they probably should.
Yeah, but like where I'm at now in North Carolina, we have like one of the biggest like breweries areas in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
I think it's actually known for having the most breweries in like a town or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I think that might be true. But I enjoy like stuff like that, and then just like meeting people, talking. Like
Mhm.
I used to be like a little bit more like reclusive, and I
Mhm.
feel like as I've gotten older and
Mhm.
kind of like known who I am,
Yeah.
I just like really love talking with people. So I'll go out occasionally, but my main thing is like seeing sights.
Yeah.
I'm also in the Appalachian Mountains, so we
Okay.
have like even now I'm like 35,000 feet up in the air. But I love going to peaks and seeing scenery, going to
Yep.
waterfalls. So just like really simple stuff, hiking,
Simple,
just getting out.
organic, wholesome,
Yeah, stuff that grounds
good-hearted,
me.
good-souled people. Good, like that vibe. I get that from you. And I think it
Appreciate it.
shows, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
And that's awesome. I'm more of a beer drinking, sitting on my patio kind of person, but
that's also a chill thing to do, though, right? Especially if you got the right people around. It's like,
we'll figure out
I
how to do it sometime. I'll send you a taster pack of our breweries down there, and you send me up a taster pack of your
I
breweries.
would love that. I would
And
absolutely love that. I would try it on stream and everything. I'd be like, okay, we got this from
you're not
PlainGuy.
allowed. Are
So
you allowed to on stream?
okay, so
What's the rule on that? I've always
all
been
right.
wondered about that.
So there's like I know that they're kind of like vague with their wording on the actual like because there's like a whole streamer like Bible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Nobody
they're kind of
reads.
loose with it. But there's like all right, like there's like this one guy who I used to know. He used to just get astronomically like fucked up while like
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah.
What the thing right there, and I mean it was getting to the point where it was like really sloppy, and obviously did not work out well for him. But then a lot of what we do is we'll say that we're hydrating just to avoid saying like the
Yeah, or a
liquor
brand
and
name
stuff.
you won't go. It's Jack Daniels. You'll
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And like actually like one of my most successful streams was when I was hydrated and I labeled it a hydration stream because obviously some people love that, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but another thing is like, I won't like, have like I won't like show it because I do want to be like professional.
Yeah, of course. I was the same
Um
way. I was having a beer before we had this conversation. It's sitting here
yeah,
out of camera sight. It's
for
professional
sure. So I'll
thing,
put it like
right?
in a cup or something,
Yeah.
but it's still, hit or miss to be honest. There's some gray areas.
We did one of those drinking streams one time. We've talked about it on other shows, but we did a fireball. Well, I did fireball. My
Okay.
wife did tequila rose, I think, and it was Fall Guys. So we each took turns
Oh
playing
wow.
Fall Guys, If I went out in the first round, I had to take 2 shots.
Oh
if
my
I went
God.
out in the second round, I had to take 1 shot. It was if she went out in the first round, she had to take 1. If she made it past first round, she was safe. And then we had the star challenge on top of that.
Oh man.
Well, my community was savage, and my star numbers, like my bar that I set for how to make us take shots, was not high enough.
Oh my God.
And I mean, it was about an hour and 45-minute stream, and it got sloppy. Do you know who Bert Kreischer is? The comedian? No, if you haven't looked him up, Bert Kreischer. He's a big guy, and he does all of his stand-up comedy, and he takes his shirt off.
Oh, that guy. Is that the guy with the Russian story? No.
Yes, the machine.
Is it him?
Yes, the machine.
Yes,
yeah, that guy.
I've watched that stand up like so many times.
He's making a movie based on that. He just finished filming it in Serbia. They're actually coming out with a movie based on that story. He's in it.
He'd be a great actor, I think. He's hilarious.
Oh, he's great. He's one of the ones that gave me this idea for a show like this. I listen to his podcast all the time.
That's super cool.
But I did the full him. I was out, no shirt on. I mean, I was sloppy. And
that's so funny though.
I never made it to bed that night. I know that story. I ended up sleeping on some very cold porcelain, on some very cold ceramic. I won't say where, but I'm pretty sure everyone can figure it out.
We were just talking about Fireball on my stream because I think somebody was drinking it. Like I was doing like collab and somebody was drinking it. I was just like, oh my God, Fireball, because I had like, obviously, you know, when you think of certain liquors, for me, it's mostly tequila and Patron, but
fair enough, which is most people's bad experience.
Oh my God. First blackout I ever had. It was the absolute worst. And that's a whole nother story. Yeah. But anyways, Fireball, man, that stuff like coming back up is like it's not acid. It is the worst thing of all time. And it's like, anyways.
I still remember because my buddy, one of a friends of mine was streaming after, and I'm upstairs barely, you know, like falling over everything else. And I'm telling him, I gotta go downstairs to get on Discord. I gotta go say hi to James.
Oh my
God!
Like,
go
you
to
do
bed.
A great impression of that. Holy
Anyways, I woke up in the morning and I came downstairs eventually. It's where we are, is in my basement, and like my computer's still on. Like I never shut anything down. It was pretty much. I went upstairs. I went outside. By the time I made it back in, I was like,
oh yeah,
and sure. I'm sleeping on the floor.
It happens to the best of us, man.
The fact I gotta go back and watch that stream. In all fairness,
I was just about to say, I'm like, I might have to scour the PlainGuy algorithm to go for that one.
Hopefully, with their new procedures they brought out, they didn't get rid of it, right? Because they were deleting old content.
You know what? I'm mad about that because I understand that there's a lot of cloud space that is getting 100%. Consumed, but they also give you the option of to like switch it from expiring, because like the way we see it, guys, is like you have like, it's like a long time. It's like 4 or 5 months before they actually expire, but you can switch it from expiring to like publish. And I just assumed that meant that it was not going to get taken away. Yeah. Because I still wanted to go back and make content out of other things. Because like we were talking about earlier, I'm like, you know, at this point in time, I'm trying to make as much content as possible. Right. And, you know, there were so many things that I've been putting off that I've been wanting to do just simply because it is a lot. Yep. But, you know, I actually, you know, I've been having the motivation, and I was like, dude, no, like my first stream video is gone. Yeah. And,
I saved mine. I had my first ones saving them actually.
Yeah.
Which was super handy, right? There was something you could do too to change them to like a playlist. Like you get like into a series or something and it wouldn't delete it. That was the big thing on them, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually just found it and I just don't know how to do anything with it. I just looked it up while we were here and I'm like, I don't know how to do anything. Please don't start playing. You don't need to start playing.
I'm gonna look into it though, because I mean, those are just like some mementos, especially like my first one. Like I remember I wanted to do a video whenever we hit like I can't remember what milestone it was, but it was just going to be like a bunch of clips of me like introducing, like, you know, starting the stream, being like, hello, and
and
all of them together.
The timeline of how it progressed kind of thing.
Yes. And you know, you can see like me getting more comfortable, but I remember like my first stream, dude, I was so like, I could, you know how like when you're streaming, you can feel like the camera there all the time, right?
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly where it is. I'm watching you on my screen, but I know it's up here.
Yeah, it's like, it feels like a laser beam just like pointed at you, even though you're not looking at it. But like that first stream, it felt like that, like tenfold. And I remember like, I was like trying so hard to make sure everything was going perfect. Like, you know, like I was making sure my sound was good and all this stuff. But I remember like as soon as like my starting screen thing went away. I started talking and it was muted, and I was just like, once you see the chat going like, I can't hear you, and I was like immediately dying inside, which I played it off okay, but like I could see it in my eyes. Like I was like so tense, dude, and I'm like, what if I can't figure it out? Blah blah blah. But anyways, yeah, it was so funny, man, watching the progression of just like doing this stuff because.
I did a stream with a friend like I was playing a game. The other person wasn't streaming, but we were on Truckers MP and American Truck Simulator. So we were doing like the multiplayer side of that. And so the whole stream, and no one was tuning in. It's when I first started. I was muted, but he wasn't. So you heard a one-sided conversation.
Oh yeah.
Through the CB in the game. And that's all there was for audio. And I'm like,
oh, that's.
I went back, and it was only when I ended, I would always go and look at it quick. And especially when you first start, now I don't go back and watch them. Oh, yeah, I don't do the extra content, so I have no need for it. But I went and watched, and I went, are you kidding me? That was like 2.5 hours of content gone.
Sometimes we just,
because I just deleted it. I just deleted it.
Yeah, we definitely die inside sometimes, but you know what? Don't let that deter you new streamers, because it's like, for me, I feel like I've learned so much. Yep. And you're gonna have to make mistakes. You're gonna have to mess up.
Yeah.
And and then that's just how you get more familiar with whatever you're using to stream. I use like OBS Streamlabs.
Yeah.
So do I. And now I feel like I'm a wizard at it. Actually, literally, like
I am until I have an audio issue.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually just had one, and it was the simplest thing, dude.
Yeah,
it was like 2 days ago. And actually, my moderator, shout out to you, Eliza, actually fixed it by saying this word. She's like, well, I hear most streamers talk about desktop audio, and I'm like, because you can hear everything, like you'll be streaming and you can hear everything perfectly, but if your desktop audio is muted, they won't come out on the output. And I'm just like, for like 5-7 minutes, I was like trying to figure out what was going on, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, blah blah blah. And she's just like, that she said that, and I look, and I'm like, you freaking wizard. Holy crap. And then, oh my God, it was great. But
mine was an update. Mine was an update from Streamlabs. So I run I don't have the most powerful PC in the world. So what I do is my PC does my streaming. I have a PlayStation 4. I use a capture card.
Mm-hmm.
I could not get game audio. So normally I don't have the fancy Elgato. I've got a mirror box, whatever it is. As soon as you plug the USB into the PC, the game audio automatically comes through the headset that's plugged into the PC. So I'd run Discord, I'd run everything. Streamlabs would pick it up as desktop audio, no problem. Update comes out, bam, no more like it's not picking up the game. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I finally look at it, and it was I hide the mixer the stuff that you don't use.
Yeah,
my capture card is now its own actual audio device. It doesn't go through the desktop audio like it used to, and it was muted. So as soon as I turned it on, because the first fix I had, I'm like, I fixed it, but there's a half a second delay. And when you're playing Call of Duty or any game, even ghost hunting games, that half a second delay will drive you nuts, it'll mess you up.
And like one thing that I experienced a lot was like my vocal, like the way when my mouth would not like be like have a delay with things, and that they have things in Streamlabs to fix that, but like you kind of just have to wiggle around with it. It's until you figure it out. But
fake it till you make it.
And I was so mad. What really made this drive me insane, because I was actually telling you, like sometimes I'll randomly like freestyle or do stuff on stream, and I was like playing a horror game, and like there was just like this song that was just like fire. It was absolute pop. And I'm over here, I'm like vibing out to it, and I just start freestyling on it. And like to me, it sounded like on time. It was perfect. And then I was like, cannot wait to go back and watch it back. And then only to find out like that the video like audio or something was just like a little bit off. Like my vocals were good, but like the sound from the actual game was like a couple milliseconds off. And I was just like so like dying inside, because like I was so on time, people were like, this guy makes music, what are you doing, sir? Like I sounded so off time. And
you can't it's not like it saves as separate audio files that you could line it back up. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work.
You can actually get it to do that and like have it record everything like while you're streaming, but I don't do it just because it's like hella storage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
after that, I was like, dude, oh my god, I might have to reevaluate how I do everything.
I have mine recording while I stream. No wonder my PC doesn't handle much. I want to turn it off, but again, with Facebook getting rid of stuff, and I'm like, I'm using a capture card, so I take a lot of load off of my actual PC that I can get away with it.
Yeah,
But yeah, because it is nice to have.
it
I
is.
use Streamlabs for intros to this video. Everything else, I use the record function on Streamlabs. A lot of times, if
Yeah,
I'm playing games with friends that I'm not streaming, I will hit the record just
I
for the
will do
chance
that
that you'll
too.
get that weird clip that you'll be like, damn,
I do
it
that
wasn't a stream,
too.
but
I do that too, and I do that for like a lot of games that I don't play in stream because like I play a lot of games that I just don't feel like bring out the
I
best.
think,
Like
yeah,
like I play a lot of fighting games for example.
Yeah.
And as much as I love them, I cannot. I feel like I can't play them on stream because I'm very competitive. And like sometimes, God knows what will, come out of my mouth sometimes. So I'm like very precarious about like, stuff like that. But maybe one day we'll get there, right?
I think it's important too that people need to remember that even as a streamer, it is important to take time to play games off stream.
Yes,
because
for sure.
if not, you don't want it to feel like every time you play a game is somewhat of a task or a job to do, right? You want that.
Yeah.
And I catch myself doing that more now. It's like, you know what? I just want to play an hour off stream. I just want to, you know what I mean? Get back into why I did the, like back
for
to
me
what
right
I
now,
started this.
It's Final Fantasy 14, dude. I've been like addicted to that game.
Never played a single Final Fantasy game, and no offense, not a fan. I
never
of
have.
The idea.
I never
oh, really?
have, okay. So I never have, but like lately it's been like super popular because there's like this other really like super popular streamer called Asmongold, and he was like a huge WoW streamer, and I didn't even play WoW that much.
Yeah.
But I did play like a lot of MMOs like RuneScape and stuff growing up that literally just consumed my life.
Yeah, I remember RuneScape.
Yeah, so this was like the first MMO I kind of got back into, but and you don't have to know a lot of the story, like because I feel like they have like such a long running like franchise, and it was kind of like, do I really want to play this? But like my roommate got into it and I started playing that. So that's a lot of what I play off stream. Other than that, like I'll play like Fortnite, which I've been thinking about streaming a little bit more. And then the fighting games, so Mortal Kombat, Brawlhalla, Blaze Blue, like all sorts of stuff. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I love your variety of gameplay that you have.
For sure.
If you had to, before we go today, if you had to pick one of your favorite games, your favorite game of all time, what is it? Any console, any generation? What is it? The tough questions on the PlainGuy Show.
All right. So I kind of have like two here because one is kind of based off of hours that I've actually sunk into it. And the other one is based off of like, horror games is my favorite genre. And like my favorite horror game, and I've even streamed this twice. And a lot of the horror games don't have a lot of replayability simply because once you finish it, there's not a lot of stuff to do. But I actually got done doing a restream of this it's called Infliction. And it's a psychological horror game. And I have so many horror games that I kind of liken it to, and it's really hard for me to pick one, but that's by far one of my favorite horror games. It's just a lot of these games are so similar, and so they kind of took there's like this one game that kind of set the standard for horror games now called PT. It's a very horrifying game, but a lot of people were doing a lot of just PT remakes. And that game definitely took a lot of influence from it, but it did a really good job being original. So the other game, and this might take you by surprise here. You may not even know what it is, but
My Little Pony Game Boy Edition.
Damn, dude, you got me. Oh my god, dude. You said you're not good at trivia. What do you mean? No, I'm just kidding. But it is a game called Brawlhalla. So it's a fighting game, kind of like Super Smash Brothers.
I've never played it, but if I want to, I know the one you're talking about, the very Super Smash Brother like game. It's
free on like every console.
Oh, really?
And they get you with like the skins and stuff.
Yeah, of course, that model, that Fortnite model.
I have over like 1,200 hours in this game because like every day, like at least maybe for even a couple of minutes, like I'll pick it up and just like get a couple matches in. Because I really would love to see myself make it a diamond one day, which is like, but also I love that competitive sort of gameplay, so that is like one of those games like I just always fall back into.
I should check it out. I really should check it out because I loved Super Smash Brothers. It was like a party game with friends. I remember you get people together. That was like playing GoldenEye on the N64 when we'd all get together. Yeah, and your one buddy had it and you were playing like, so I'm gonna have to look into that one. My big game has always been for a long time. I've always been sports, right? Hockey. I played all of the NHLs coming up, some football, some racing, a lot of racing we've done, but Rocket League. I got into Rocket League, man.
Dude,
and
people have been trying to get me on that my best friend has been trying to get me on it for the
dude, good
time.
I got a couple other streamers on it that just started off, never played it before in their life, and we play it as like community games and stuff like that, and it's just a riot. It's just a chaotic, sloppy mess, and that's what makes
I love that.
Yeah, that's what makes it so good. So we have kind of gone over, guys. If you want to check Vaughn out on Facebook, make sure you do it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. All of his descriptions will be in the video. You will see the tags below him. Go check him out. Drop that like, drop that follow. Do you have supporters yet? Can we drop that supportage?
I don't have supporters yet, but you know, that's
we're going our way there.
Yeah, we're on our way.
If everyone watching this video gets behind it, he will be there a lot quicker. Guys, Vaughn is amazing. You will see the horror games. You will see the jump scares. Hop into his stream. Exclamation point for the content. Give him a scare. Give him the content out of it. Vaughn, thank you so much for joining us today, man. This has been an absolute great time. I'm stoked to have you here, my man.
It's been so much fun, man. And it was everything that I thought it was going to be. You're a super awesome guy yourself.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know, very good vibes. And it was really easy talking with you. So thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So, guys, I am PlainGuy. That is Streams with Vaughn. I pointed the right way. This has been a whole challenge in itself. Thanks for coming out. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Take care.
Absolutely. I'll see you around.
You're the best. All right.